What's up, YouTube? This is Scott Tanic One coming at you again with another album review. This one came out in, I believe it was March. Yeah, March 25th, 2016. I highly anticipated this one. I went to the store the day of it was released to get it, and the motherfuckers were out of the special edition, so I had to get a standard edition, which I wasn't very happy about. But then again, once I got the album home and listened to it like 3 or 4 times, I'm kind of glad, I only missed out on one track, and it was, an okay track. It was a pretty good track, but I didn't really miss a whole lot for the extra $4 or $5. So, without further ado, Amon Amarth, Viking. Jomsviking is an amazing album. It's probably one of the best produced, the best sounding Amon Amarth album yet in the discography that I have anyway, which is quite a bit. I don't have some of their earlier stuff, but I've got everything from like With Odin on Our Side on, and this is the best sounding one yet. Um, Honestly, it's supposedly their first concept album, but I've always kind of thought of Amon Amarth's records to be concept albums. I guess that's my stupidity for thinking that, but yeah, the first legitimate Amon Amarth album that's pretty much following in the theme of one concept, tells a story. Some really good tracks on it. The story itself is an okay revenge story kind of flow to it. I get really tongue tied when trying to talk about this album because the music really kind of speaks for itself on it. Let's get into some tracks. Of course, the first one everyone heard, First Kill, is an amazing track. I dare you to not listen to that a couple times and get that chorus stuck in your head because it's a monster chorus. The Wanderer, what follows it, is another great track. On a Sea of Blood it's good. This is where the story, in my opinion, starts to bog down a little bit, but then it picks up again with One Against All, Raise Your Horns. Those two tracks they're really good anthemic kind of Amon Amarth tracks. Then you got At Dawn's First Light, which is probably my favorite one on here. 1,000 Burning Arrows is another good one. Then you get into A Dream That Cannot Be, featuring Doro Persh. I hope I pronounced your name right. Guest female vocals on the track. They're kind of like ballady, tragic love song. It's all right. I mean, kind of a gimmick that I think kind of didn't really need to be on the album. Kind of also hurts the score a little bit for me because I didn't really dig on this track, but I'll get into that a little bit later. And then you got Back on Northern Shores, the big finale. I think the bonus track was Vengeance Is My Name or something like that. I listened to the bonus track a couple times. But yeah, like I said, this is really the best sounding Amon Amarth record, but in my opinion, it has the weakest lyrical content. I champion albums of theirs like The Fate of Norns, and yeah, that was the second album I actually owned, which is first in the discography, but I messed that up anyway. Going on, um, I'm just not digging the content of this album. It's a cool, great sounding album, and it's got a lot of catchy riffs, a lot of catchy choruses. But I like the older style of Johan Hegg's vocal writing. I guess vocal delivery is great, but I mean, like I said, his lyrical writing, I like the older style better. He had better tales to tell, I guess, when they were not trying to be the soundtrack to a episode or season of the Vikings television show. That's what it kind of I think of when I listen to this album. Um, it's really good though. I'm definitely going to give it a pretty high score because I enjoyed it a lot. I listened to it a lot, but it just didn't resonate with me as a favorite in their catalog. Just it was a really good fix of Amon Amarth for right then, right then, right then, right then, right there, right now. Huh. I get tongue tied doing these sometimes. I'm going to give Jomsviking a 4.5 out of 5. Pretty high score for what I thought was a middle of the road kind of album, but it's definitely worth your time, money, especially if you're a fan of Amon Amarth. After this, I'm going to do quite a few, I'm thinking about 4 or 5 more reviews, and then that'll be it for this section of reviews, so stay tuned. Signing off.